That's awesome.
What's up? Y'all some pretty people.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let you guys, you are some pretty people. You make me look good. Being with you makes me look handsome. When I'm not with you, I look like the mask that the guy had on. I don't know your name, I'm sorry. So what's up, Belonging? How you guys liked last week? Was it good? The message was awesome? Yeah. Guess what? Who's ready for week 2? Woo! I'm ready for week 2. Alright, so last week we talked about Jesus when he was your age. Now we're going to talk about Jesus versus a pretty controversial topic. Jesus versus the religion of his day. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you all. I'm going to act a little goofy in a second, alright? So, in this corner, weighing in at a whopping John 3:16, we've got, he's known by many names like the Lord of Lords, the Healer, the Teacher, the Lamb of Lambs, the Lamb of God, the King of Kings. His robe heals the blind. He reaches out and heals your wounds. His voice casts demons out. He's the one and only Jesus Christ. Woo! Alright, yeah. Oh, and in this corner, weighing in his challengers, coming in at an alarming Mark 11:18. That's a big number. Mark 11:18. Let's see. They've won the respect of the people. They parade around in flashy clothes. They command the laws for you to obey. They decide the direction of Israel, your country. They trample on others in a pursuit of power. We have the one, the only, the mighty, the powerful Pharisees. Yeah! Oh, I'm the only one. That's alright. So, that's what we're talking about this week. We're talking about Jesus versus Pharisees. Which, in other words, Jesus versus religion. See, Jesus, so to start us off, to give you a background story of all this, Jesus started, he was 12 years old when we talked last week. But in this story, he's going to be 30 years old and above. He's going to be 30 to 33. And he started out in his ministry on the road when he was 30 years old. But back in, when he was born, there was an important word that was spoken over him that kind of foreshadowed what his ministry, his life on the road would be like. In Luke 2:34-35, it reads, Then Simeon, the guy who spoke over Jesus, then Simeon addressed them and said to Mary, his mother, This child is destined to cause the falling and rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against, and so that the thoughts of many will be revealed. And so, what Jesus did, he's going to reveal the hearts of many people, what they're doing on the inside. What they may be doing on the outside is what's different from what's on the inside. And so what's happening, he went to many cities teaching the truth. If you read in Matthew 5-7, it's a big 2 chapters. It's Jesus teaching on this mountain. It's called the mountain, or the Sermon on the Mount. Awesome. But Jesus is up there teaching about what the law has to say. But he's not just teaching the law, like, obey your mother and father, but he's really talking about the truth, about why you're supposed to obey your own father and mother. And like, for example, in Matthew 5:21-25, Jesus talks about do not murder, but he takes it one step farther and says why, the truth behind why we shouldn't murder someone. It's because when we have anger towards someone, Jesus says that when you have anger in your heart towards someone, you might as well have already killed them. And so what Jesus says is to go, before it boils over and you actually do kill them, go and resolve the anger and then make it. And now see, this is a brand new way of teaching. Jesus came along and he started out, this was one of the first things that he taught. And this was something brand new. The teachers, he taught about the truth of the law and not just what the law was. And this truth, it trickled over. And not only did he just teach about it, but he also showed compassion and he showed love to those around him. He healed many people. If you read through all the Gospels, he healed the blind, he healed the crippled, he healed the man whose hand was shriveled up and looked funky-dunky. I love that word. But he performed miracles. He fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish. He did all these miracles out of compassion for the people. And so all this love for the people begin to talk. Oh man, did you hear about Jesus? He's over in this town, but people over in this town, man, I heard about Jesus. We got to go get that guy. And of course, Jesus, the word about Jesus didn't just pass to the people. It passed to the people in power, the Pharisees. And so the religious keepers, the people who kept the law. And so to give you a background check on who those Pharisees were that showed up there, the Pharisees are they're like a middle class merchants. They're like business guys who are trying to be upper class. They're in the middle class, so they have contact with us lowlifes, us people who barely make money, the people who don't really have a voice. They have contact with us, and so because of the middle class area that they're in, we respect them because they've got all this money and they get to contact us. And also the Pharisees have positions on the priest of the Sanhedrin, and that's a big word. Sanhedrin is actually the ruling council of Israel, like people who